We should indeed. All right, chat. Let's do this. So, last time, and again, major spoilers for anyone who's been following along with this on the YouTube side of things or whatever. But, again, last time, ridiculous offseason. Changed the face of this franchise. We're going full cheat code to get this team ready. And off stream, I had set up the roster because, again, there was a lot to go through after we discovered that that the training camp thing didn't work as expected. So this is the team for the year. Again, Spencer Knight is now our #1 goaltender. Jake Ottinger right there behind him. Zach Bouthelier there as well. Don't quite know what I'm going to do with him yet. Our defense, the major free agent signing, and Cale Makar next to one Kalen Addison, Jamie Drysdale, Dennis Jalowski, and Michael Mastrodomenico, and now 5-star defensive prospect Simon Edvinsson, and the 7th defenseman is Isaac Beliveau. And then for the forwards, we got a lot of talent down in the AHL. Atu Ratu is still here. Trevor Zegras still here as well. But then again, the other big free agent signing, Elias Pettersson, is here. Of course, Marco Rossi, Matthew Savoy was added. We got William Karlsson, Max Nemesnikov, Robert Mastrosimone, Thomas Bordeleau, Patrick Laine, of course, Isaac Rosen, still 3-star, 5-star, Jack Quinn, and Jakob Pelletier. So in terms of like seeing all the star ratings at once, that is what we're dealing with. Again, it's $13 million a season, 7-year deal for Pettersson. It's fucking nuts. That's what we had to do to get him here. Ranger, I don't know what you mean by that. So yeah, we are here. It is our season opener against Buffalo, and as far as I remember, yeah, we did update the captains as well. Max Nemesnikov named captain. You have Pettersson there as well, and Patrick Laine as the alternates. So we're going to get into our first game of the season. The lines are Ratu, Pettersson, Laine, Zegras, Rossi, Quinn, Mastrosimone, Nemesnikov, Pelletier, Bordeleau, Karlsson, and Savoy. William Karlsson goes, I think, from our first-line center to our fourth-line center. Defense is Chalosky, Makar, Edvinsson, Addison, Beliveau, Drysdale. And getting the start in net here will be Spencer Knight. In his first ever game, we will quick sim this bad boy where Patrick Laine scores 41 seconds into it. Cale Makar, his first assist with the team. Beautiful. Let's keep that going. Cross-checking penalty to Simon Edvinsson, and they tie it. Aaron Huglin. And they take a penalty here to offset. Line into the box for hooking. So not great. We gave up that goal back. Atu Ratu gets involved. Pettersson and Edvinsson, 2 of the new boys on the assists. And a 2-1 lead at the end of the first. Highest paid player in the league now. We can take a look here in a minute. Let's see. Second period. William Karlsson to the box and a power play goal for Buffalo. Zach LaRue, of all people. Taylor Hall still there. They take a penalty, slashing, and Cale Makar gets his first goal with the club. Ratu and Laine on the assists. You already see the additions here. It's pretty damn sweet. I mean, Ranger, they release a new game every year, so. And the penalty trouble right now for both teams. Dominic Kubalik scores. We're tied at 3. Robert Mastrosimone gets it right back. 4-3. Not the best defensive or goaltending display for either side. 5-on-3 power play for Buffalo. Evens out. Jack Eichel scores. We're tied at 4. Offsetting penalties. Fabian Lascelles scores. Braden Yeager scores. 6-4, your final. Buffalo, not the best debut for Spencer Knight. Yikes. Not the best debut for Spencer Knight at all. Great game for Patrick Laine. But again, Spencer Knight, an .829 save percentage. Jesus. Not, alright. I mean, for the majority of our players, it was a pretty good debut. Except for Spencer Knight. That was rough. Again, we have some players who are roughed up a little bit. So yeah, we'll see what happens with Spencer Knight. Now, we actually haven't taken a look like around the league to see what some of the ratings are in a while. So just a quick update here. St. Louis, David Pastrnak, the best player at 4.5 star. He's making $10 million. Top players on Tampa, Braden Point making about 12. Victor Hedman, Steven Stamkos still there at 35. So again, I'm going to skip through these pretty quickly because we have 31 other teams to get to. Marner and Matthews, Nylander as well, still leading the way in Toronto. About $10 million there for Austin Matthews. Vancouver led by Jordan Binnington, Shea Theodore, and Thatcher Demko. You have Vegas with Tomas Hertl, their best player. Pettersson might be the highest paid player in the league at $13 million. I think McDavid might be the only one to rival him. John Carlson, Anthony Cirelli leading the way there. Jake Gensel as well, making over $9 million. In Washington, our defending Stanley Cup champions. Winnipeg with Mark Scheifele still leading the way. Zibanejad there as well. Anaheim has John Gibson, Colton Parayko, who is making almost $11 million. Tyler Seguin as well. Arizona with Rupe Hintz, Lawson Krause, and Zach Werenski as their top players. Boston, Philip Forsberg. I mean, Brad Marchand's still there, but that's a big yikes team right now. Jack Eichel on Buffalo, Jared McCann as well. Eichel making 10. Chuck Goodrow, Patrick Kane leading the way on Calgary. Oh, Carolina, Sebastian Aho, Dougie Hamilton, Teuvo Teravainen. Pretty much what you'd expect. Chicago, led by Leon Draisaitl. Big new free agent signing of theirs. He's making almost $12 million. Mark Stone as well. Colorado has Nathan McKinnon making over $12 million. Mikko Rantanen. Gerard Byram, Provorov of all people. Connor Hellebuck, Seth Jones, the best players. PLD is actually still in Columbus. Ryan O'Reilly, Nick Ehlers, John Klingberg, and Miro Heiskanen, your best players on Dallas. Detroit has Dylan Larkin, Tristan Jarry, Anthony Mantha, JT Miller, Brock Besser, and Nico Hischier for that matter. McDavid's making 12, so I think we have Pettersson as the highest paid player in the league. Although McDavid's deal is up at the end of this year. $12.5 million, of course, 5-star player. Jonathan Huberdeau, Aaron Ekblad, Timo Meier, still the best player on Florida. Of course, Meier, more of a recent addition. Tarasenko, Elias Lindholm, Nino Niederreiter. Quentin Byfield still there in LA. Minnesota's got Vasi. Of course, Boone Jenner Chevrolet, Adam Beckman. Sean Couturier, Brendan Gallagher, Arturi Lehkonen, the best players there in Montreal. Nashville's got Roman Josi, and that's pretty much it. I mean, 3 stars are very good, like Carson Lambos is there, but for like superstars. Kenzie Blackwood, Matvei Michkov, the best players in New Jersey. You got Sasha Barkov, Matt Barzell with the Islanders. Rangers have 4-star Lafreniere and Panarin, both making $11 million. Thomas Chabot, Matt Murray, Jakub Vrana, and Brady Tkachuk, the best players in Ottawa. Carter Hart, by far and away the best player in Philly. Pittsburgh's got Svechnikov and a 38-year-old Crosby. San Jose with Erik Karlsson and Morgan Riley. Hell of a top defense pair. So there you go. Just kind of a super quick look for what's going on around the league. The only thing that we really need to worry about here, you don't know if there is anything we need to worry about here. We're pretty much good to go. Could worry about signing other scouts or whatever, but I think for the most part we still have everybody there as well. Of course, John Cooper, still our head coach. I think that's pretty much all we have to do. I mean, again, there's other stuff we could look at here just to try and set the stage, but again, we were one of the preseason favorites as well. Actually, you know what I want to do? I want to go back to the options. Let's see if we can get the face gen going again and see if it's going to be kind of screwed up still. It might be. Don't really need commissioner mode on right now. Okay, everything is looking okay. Who is our franchise's leading goal scorer? I forget where to see that, to be honest. Oh, we're right here. Duh. Jeez, I already hit the damn button. William Karlsson is the all-time points leader. Williams Karlsson at 189 points. The goal-scoring leader is Cam Atkinson with 78. I thought that was a more in-depth screen, but that's pretty much it. Our wins leader is Marcus Hogberg with 50. So, Isaiah Saville with the 7 shutouts. So, Raspberry, take it easy, by the way. And of course, you can see everyone who happened to wear the number for that team in the team's history, which is nuts. And yeah, player index as well. Yeah, 189 points in 4 seasons for William Karlsson. Of course, he's still here. Leaderboards, there we go. His most goals in the season was Atkinson at 38. Of course, he has 78 in his career with us. Oh boy, and then of course NHL-wise, we might as well just look at like updated stuff at the end of the year. So with that, let's roll. It's time to see how good this team wants to be. We bounced back with that season-opening loss with a 6-5 win over the Canucks, based off of a hat trick from Patrick Laine. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. This is, I mean, we've made the playoffs 2 times now in our, in our tenure here. Obviously, for the vast majority of the time, we've been trying to intentionally miss. This is the first season where it's like, okay, we need to make the playoffs. I think if John Cooper can't get this team into the playoffs, we fire him. Jared Spurgeon hit 1,000 games, as did Nino. Tyson Jost out for 5 months. Pelletier is now a left wing. And our September scouting updates. We need more on Ricard Peterson here. Anybody with a B for that first letter? Andrew Maloney. Anton Hedqvist. Get more information on you. Ben Danielson. Logan Dachuk, we know nothing about. Josef Molnarfi, hell of a name. A lot of these dudes we actually don't know much about right now, so let's keep getting these scouting sessions in there. We're definitely into the computer-generated side of things. Robbie, what's up? What's the issue? That dude on the list. That dude on the list. And this dude on the list. Connor put up 3 points after I dropped him for Farabee. What? Connor as in Kyle? Why would you have dropped Kyle Connor? You have to be saying as in Kyle Connor and not Connor McDavid. Either way, that's an unforgivable move. No matter how good Farabee was. Oh, good. By the way, you know what people are realizing? Is, the pick that was used to select Kirill Kaprizov was acquired from the Boston Bruins. I was hoping that wouldn't be discovered. I've known that for a while. But some people on Twitter are now discovering this as, again, the Wild traded up to get him and the Bruins took Cam Clark. Fuck. That's great that people are discovering that. Patrick Kane hurts. We do have our Central Scouting watch list. So, right now the projected #1 player is in Swedish 3rd Division, Umit Erdogan. I think it's Erdogan, something like that. So this dude, this left defenseman, is the #1 projected pick. See why, good head on his shoulders at least. More of an offensive defenseman for sure. Interesting. What's the complete list here? We have, in terms of potential, we apparently have Chris Ferlin and Michael Stetak, I'm not sure, as some of our top dudes. I need to get a better look at this guy as well. And if we look at the ability, let's keep getting a better look at some of these dudes that we don't have all the way scouted. Let's keep going. Deep Gut McDavid. He's probably loving fantasy. I'd imagine so. Patrick Laine has 9 points in 4 games. I'm loving this right now. Let's see. Cam Fowler hit 1,000 games. Pedersen has still been less than 100% and not playing. So a 2-2 start, I think, can be forgiven when he got roughed up so early on. Norman and Luke McNamara are adjusting. It's very good. So again, like right now, we have some players here like Dylan Genther, who's in the AHL. Like we have some younger guys who we also loaned out that are going to be ready next year. So we could certainly make some blockbuster moves again if we had to. But we'll see how the players that we have right now happen to do. Alright. South Dakota boy. Take it easy, buddy. Catch you later. Appreciate you hanging out. Oh boy, we still got a long way to go in the season here. A long way to go. 7 games in, hanging in there with Vegas though. Not a bad place to be. Furman. 1 player enters the arena after the other exits. Furman, what's going on? We're back for the first time since trying that training camp idea. It took me a little bit to set up the team off stream. Still, of course, middle of October, so we got a long way to go. So one thing, of course, about FHM, right? If like you want to keep up to date with everything, you kind of don't sim too far ahead. It's a bit of a slower process. Lost to Arizona, beat Montreal, got Toronto up next. Fair enough, where it was a reported bug. Yeah, I remember you telling me. So as long as the actual training went through, like, we're fine and we got the benefit of it. I just probably won't do that again. Or it'll just be like, yeah, let's just go ahead and set up the roster as we would have. Draisaitl's doing wonders in Chicago. Of course, we took Pettersson over Draisaitl, and I stand by that move. Long show still hanging out, eh? Spencer Knight has 5 wins, so 7-3-1. It's nice to see some red, though, on the left-hand side. Makar, Pettersson, Laine. Doing pretty well right now. Beat Nashville, beat Dallas. Tampa and St. Louis, though, are ahead of us. Tampa right now the best team in the league. We did beat Dallas. What about Los Angeles? Beat the Kings as well, 5-2. Can we trade for Kaprizov in game? Potentially. Again, the issue is if we choose to add to this team, if we even have to, number one, it would probably be defensive improvements, but we also have to be very careful with the cap. Like, rentals would have to be rentals, especially if Connor McDavid ends up being a free agent at the end of the year. Let's see what we got here. Washington traded Dmitry Orlov to Buffalo for a 2.5-star prospect. Alex Kovanoff for a second. 600 points for Mikhail Granlund. Carr and Pettersson have been doing well. Vander Kane hit 400 goals. Sean Monahan hit 300. Minnesota acquires Nico Hischier from Detroit for Vladislav Firstov. And apparently we've lost Jack Quinn for 4 months. That happened 12 days ago. Jack Quinn with a torn back muscle in the game injury suffered in the game against Toronto. So that's brutal. Gabe Velarde was dealt to St. Louis. Brandon Saad hit 1,000 games. Got a lot of people developing as well, but yeah, we have lost Jack Quinn, who had 3 points in 10 games so far this year. I mean, he wasn't exactly crushing it, but yeah, we gotta put him on IR. It's gonna be day-to-day with a bruised jaw. So then the question is, who comes up for Jack Quinn? We got a lot of people improving on that left-hand side. Stranges at 2-star. Dominic Peter we can't call up because I loaned him out. I think it's got to be Dylan Genther. 2.5-star Dylan Genther. Yeah, I think he's the guy that we gotta call up here. It's him or Luke McNamara. McNamara's on 6 points in 14 games. Actually, you know what? Really quickly, who is the leading scorer on the Palm Springs Bitch Pigeons? Who's the leading scorer? Stranges, 17 and 16. Genther as well. Simon Tyval. You know, I think then we go for... Yeah, we do have Trevor Wong on roster. I think we go for Antonio Stranges. He's only 2-star, but let's give him a shot. Let's give him a shot. Let's see what he's got. See if he can help out this team. Bouthelier hasn't been able to play this season, but I wanted him as a safety net. The problem is Spencer Knight and Jake Ottinger are crushing it. Bouthelier, I think we can... I'm going to shop him really quickly, see what we can get. Worst case, I send him down and just hope he clears waivers. We could get Josh Anderson! Woo! Who still has 2 years left on that contract and a $5 million cap hit. No fucking thank you. Montekivi from Boston, no. Shelberg, no. A 5th rounder, Judd Caulfield. Reese Newkirk. I think we're just gonna try to send this dude down if we have to. Alex Wenberg, Cal Peterson, Noah Dower Nilsson. 2.5 star. Yeah, I think that's the play. Keep him on roster for now. Just have him sit there, just in case. And if there ends up being a situation, then hey, we make a move and do what we have to do. How did Studnicka look? Studnicka looked okay tonight. I mean, he was kind of quiet. Admittedly, that Bruins top line, not exactly. Yeah, Brad Marchand hurt for 9 months. Jesus. The top line for the Bruins tonight, you know, first game of the year, it was a little bit quiet. Aside from the opening goal and obviously like Marchand in the shootout. Well, I say it was a little bit quiet. Like Marchand was everywhere though. I mean, it's tough because obviously like the power play line, like both goals in regulation Marchand was involved in, was on the power play. So it's like that top. I think that first goal was Bergeron and Krejci on the assists, and then the second goal that Richie scored, Marchand got the primary on that off a fucking sick feed. So. Yeah, for Stud, he's probably not ready for that spot. But, you know, problem is obviously for him, like, hey, guess what? You're literally the pasta placeholder. Pedersen is out for 1 to 2 weeks. Oh, God. We are having some injury concerns with one Mr. Pedersen here that I really don't like. He has already been hurt twice this season. $13 million player. We can't be having that. Surprised they gave him pasta spot. I think they did because everyone else though is still where they're supposed to be. That's the issue. Everyone else is, you know, kind of in the lines that they want them to be in. Pasta's the one big missing player. And yeah, the elephant in the room I did see Zdeno Chara in a Caps uniform, and I have to watch it like 8 or 9 more times this year, and I'm not happy about it. Like I said, obviously, it's just incredibly weird to see Chara in a different uniform because it's like, hey, it's not like Ray Bourque where it's like, well, he didn't win anything. So, did you see anything about the Dallas Stars game? I haven't checked yet. I didn't. I have no idea what the hell is going on with them. I do. I mean, aside from I think no. Yeah, tomorrow's game against Florida is postponed. I know that much. Beyond that, I'm not sure. This patch is at 900 points. Dev report. What do we got? +1, of course, is okay. Big +2 for Aatu Ratu. Getting open and checking. Big +3 for Nikita Trutko. Not our best prospect in the world, but a big +3 there. +2, +1, fucks over Florida. Well, hey, the Miami Marlins pulled it off. +2 for Trevor Zegras. Ivan Miroshnichenko gets a +2. Okay. Draisaitl and Callie Klang, the top players of the big opening month of the season. Let's keep going. Top team right now in the Pacific and tied for the points league in the NHL with 25. So on the fewest, along with the Rangers, who have an identical record, fewest amount of games played. So, also how fucking weird is it that Lindy Ruff is the head coach of New Jersey and like Mark Recchi's on the bench for them too? It is bizarre, absolutely bizarre. So we lose to Vegas. We got Columbus next. 18-year-old that's already a 2-star developing like that with 2.5-star potential system. Your scouts might have been wrong. I'm hoping. Alex Ovechkin hits 1,500 games. He is now in Columbus, by the way. So he's played for New Jersey, Columbus, and Seattle, now 40 years old. He has 1 goal in 17 games. We made the right choice leaving Ovi behind. 600 points for Jonathan Drouin, a 13-game point streak for Tomas Hertl. And yeah, it was pointed out earlier, but yeah, our prospect pool is disgusting. I could move the webcam, but to this point, it's all 3.5 stars from 4 to 8. And Miroshnichenko's 4.5. I mean, yeah, this team is nuts. This team is nuts. We used and abused all those first-round picks that we were able to acquire. By the way, if nobody saw it, honestly, it's kind of ridiculous. Kyle Palmieri in the Bruins game tonight had the longest breakaway I've ever seen. He was on a breakaway essentially from the Devils' own blue line in 3-on-3 overtime. Didn't score because Rask is the best, but it was one of the craziest things I had ever seen. Wild and Blue Jackets made a deal. Max Comtois for Connor Murphy. Sebastian Aho hit 300 goals. Connor McDavid hit 400. Connor McDavid on 400 goals. Again, Quinn and Pedersen still out. We'll move Pedersen back. Jack Quinn still out for 3 to 4 months, though, which really hurts. Dominic Peter. That's not good. One of our better prospects. Gonna miss 9 weeks. Got hurt in an international game. Damn. We've had some bad injury luck so far this season. Yes, Pedersen, I am aware. I don't know if the coach is playing you or not. Take it up to John, not me. That's up to Koopa. And 41 points for Draisaitl. Maybe we went after the wrong guy. We should have gone after him instead of Pedersen. William Karlsson, man, he's getting better at playing both wings. He's becoming a very versatile player for us. Vegas has jumped us. We play Boston and New Jersey. We lose to Boston. Not great. And we lose to New Jersey. Also not great. Okay, we're slipping up a little bit. Only had 24 games into the season, but we are slipping up a little bit. Damn. If you're the head coach as well as GM, you can do a little bit to prevent players from getting as much of a hit. Fair. Like I said, though, for me, it's just it makes the sim that much faster. Makes the sim that much faster to just be like, yeah, screw it. Let's just actually hire a coach and see what happens. Damn, non-copyright playlist. Fucking going for it. See, big 5-3 win over Pittsburgh there. Top team in the NHL right now is St. Louis. David Pastrnak and the St. Louis Blues. That's a big yikes. That's a big yikes. Alright, let's see. We got some updated news here. Taylor Hall hit 400 goals. Jake Gensel hits 300. We got, again, some of our guys improving in different spots. Nino Niederreiter was traded to the Blues for Jake Neighbors. Colorado might be firing Jared Bednar. Alexei Makluka was dropped by the Blue Jackets. They didn't have a chance to claim him the 500 assists there for Nuge. A couple of players dissolving their contract. Kevin Fiala to the Blues, or to the Blue Jackets for Nick Camano. Jared Bednar was indeed fired. And they brought in Rob Cluth to be their new head coach. Okay. Let's take a look here at the injury status on this team. Line A is still roughed up a little bit. Jack Quinn still out for a bit. Let's get to December 1st. Mesnikov with a big 4-point night, the hat trick, and a 5-4 loss. I think that's what I'm noticing, though. We're allowing a lot of goals. I just don't know if this defense... Furman, I knew what you meant. I just don't know if that defense is enough. You got the solid goaltending. Might be time to try to like move out Dennis Cholowski to get an improvement. We'll see how we do through the end of this month. But I think obviously, you know, this is the team where it's like, all right, let's prove that you're good enough to actually want to add to. The injury troubles with like Line and Pedersen not staying 100% healthy is not helping. Not at all. Nico Hischier out for 5 months after being traded. That's rough. 900 points for Ryan O'Reilly. Barzell out for 5 months. There have been some huge injuries. Riley Walsh for Danila, you're off. Top prospect right now in terms of overall, 2.5 star, fresh out of the draft apparently. Christian Buchberger. Holy shit. AJ, probably not. We'll probably take a break. I mean, again, like NHL is going to be the primary game, but then yeah, you know, we just rotate out sports games. So many different sports games to play, you know? Like I said, I think the best thing to do, Rock Tansky, holy shit. You know, once I'm done roster editing, it'll be switching up the format a little bit where I think I am going to live record franchise mode stuff, and then that way I can put that focus on some of the other actual hockey content that I want to make on top of being able to, you know, more regularly upload stuff like the Cold War. So, I mean, FHM is going to be in the rotation, but it's not, you know, it's not locking down the permanent spot. I think we win with Seattle and then take a break and move on to something else. So, yeah, AJ, this has been more FHM content than I've done in a while. So, but yeah, I think that's the game plan. Honestly, is just start to record some stuff on stream. Like the next franchise mode will be starting once we're done with the Growlers, which I'm going to aim to have a Growlers episode up on Friday. But yeah, I think that's the game plan, is to start being like, oh, let's record whatever franchise we do next here, send it over to YouTube. Don't really care if it cuts into the views, because then I'll be able to do some other stuff. Our dev report, +2 for Simon Forsmark, +2 for Martin Kromiak, +2 for Spencer Knight, +2 for Maxim Mesnikov, including in leadership, which is nice, and Maxim Lunacharsky also gets a +2. Player of the month, Robbie Yaraventi and Ilya Sorokin. So you know what we're gonna do? I'm gonna try to sim, because I gotta run to the bathroom here really quickly. Let's go into Do Not Disturb, and I will see if I can sim us to January 1st. Let's see if this stops. I will try to be right back, and again, hopefully it doesn't stop. That would suck. I fucking knew it. I knew it. 1,000 games for Taylor Hall. Manager options. Get rid of all that. Do not disturb. I need to pee. January 1st. Well, it's a Christmas miracle. We didn't see it stop. Unfortunately, our record's not what I was thinking it was going to be, or hoping, but we're looking okay. 2016 and 3. Line is still up there for points. Makar for assists. We're definitely going to take a look at the team as of January 1st and see what we're dealing with here. Maybe see if, again, moves to be made. Players that just obviously aren't cutting it. Maybe we're giving these guys a little bit too long to prove themselves, but certainly it's like, okay, in January, once we're there, no doubt, if someone's not cutting it, they're out. Whether it be trade or sent back to the minors, whatever it may be. This could be the final week of Atu Ratu's tenure here in Seattle. Like, if I'm not impressed with that game rating and those point totals, he's gone. He'll be the big piece we could use to go out and acquire another great player. So, also very, very disappointed in the lack of Spencer Knight not being in the top 10 in save percentage, because it looks like a really strong year for goaltending. I mean, the top 9 are all in at least a 920. And we don't have Spencer Knight there. Or Ottinger, for that matter. Svechnikov has 30 goals already, which is nuts. Get ready, guys. 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year, 2026. Woo! I'm gonna be 32. I'm gonna be saying, holy shit, 2021's over before you know it. It's fucking crazy. This playlist, though. Alright. January 1st. What do we have? On the 1st of January 2026. March 2020 should be over. Right? Okay, so we got a month's worth of emails to catch up on. I'm going to turn off Do Not Disturb and turn those back on. So let's see, the big news. I mean, Carl Sterner improving. Voracek hit 300 goals. Riley Smith hit 1,000 games. Chicago waived Lucas Reichel. Kopitar hits 400 goals. Johnny Goodrow hits 300. They never learn. Gage Goncalves and Olli Levy were fucking around with each other in the locker room. Not in that way. 300 goals for Zibanejad. Mac Hallwell. A couple other players leave their teams. Huberdeau hit 300 goals. Jordan Bennington and Ryan O'Connell. Kaprizov is a member of the Vancouver Canucks. Why the hell the Minnesota Wild acquired Jordan Bennington when they already have Andrei Vasilevsky? I have no idea. Jesus Christ. The World Juniors started as well, and of course are not over. Let's take a look at Germany this year. All half-star dudes led by this guy, the top German prospect right now, Emil Schaefer. So the Germans, 11th ranked right now. That's rough. Canada, of course, the number 1 in the world. The weakest Canadian roster I have seen ever, led by our own Brad Norman. I mean, some good guys kind of in terms of potential. That's a weak Canada roster there. The Russians also not looking that strong now that we've seen a lot of the real-world players out. They're number 4 in the world, led by our own Nikita Trutko. So we had the best player on Canada and the best player on Russia. Sweden, also not looking all that strong, led by Christian Isaacson. Number 2 in the world right now are the Swedes. And then Denmark, number 9 in the world rankings. Obviously a brutal team, led by Daniel. I never know how to pronounce that name. I think there was a center back with that same name. So yeah, Denmark's pretty rough. In Group B, the United States also looking rough, led by number 1 overall pick Norm Howard, who of course we desperately wanted to get. They do have some dudes with some good potential though, including a goaltender named Larry McMahon. Number 3 in the world right now with the US. Slovakia, number 10 in the world. Best player, without a doubt, is Josef Sabo. Potential-wise, not so great. The Finns, currently number 5 in the world, not so great, led by former draft pick of ours, Anssi Vehviläinen, and a player of ours, Mika Rosenberg. Some okay potential there as well. Switzerland, currently 6th in the world. Best player right now is Pascal Hue. And potential-wise, no doubt, it's Nico Schmidt. And the final player, of course, final team, of course, the Czechs, currently in 7th. Pretty rough. Top potential, though, absolutely goes to Tomáš Radil. a Vancouver prospect. Calgary sent Tyler Parsons to Arizona for a 5th. Sasha Barkov and Artemi Panarin both hit 500 assists. Kind of nothing deal there. 300 goals for Kyle Connor. Our December scouting update still has Christian Buchberger as the top-rated dude in the upcoming draft, at least in terms of overall. Let's get a better report here on Daniel Cederholm, Pat Bolster, and hopefully bolster our prospect. And then we get the NHL player poll results, where Nathan McKinnon was voted as the best skater amongst players. Brant Clark has the hardest shot for the first time. Someone gets respect. Matthew Savoy voted amongst the players as the smartest of them all. Ross Johnston, the toughest. Connor McDavid, the fastest. Best role model, Morgan Riley. Brandon John as the cleanest in Columbus. John Gibson is the best goalie. And Alan Nasreddine is the top coach. Our development report, a +2 for Isaac Rosen. A big +3 again for Nikita Trutko. +2 for Patrick Thomas. Big +3 for Jamie Drysdale. +2 there for Dylan Genther. And William Karlsson lost a little bit of strength. Otto Koivula was dealt Players of the Month, Adam Beckman and Samuel Ersan, although Dylan Genther of the Palm Springs Bitch Pigeons won AHL Player of the Month. So looking here, we are currently 4th in the Pacific, but more importantly, we are in a playoff spot. We are the 8th seed, which is very disappointing. I mean, I know it's close, but I don't think, as it stands, just beyond the halfway point of the season, that we could really look at building this team up. I mean, our goal differential is apparently a +13. We have 158 goals for, 150 against, so I don't know what's up with that differential or whatever. It might just be like some other deal. But yeah, we're just not where we want to be. We've lost 3 in a row. I mean, we are in the playoffs, but this has been very disappointing. So let's look at the team here. And I want to start off by focusing on the goaltending, where Ottinger and Knight are not giving us what Bouthelier and Saville were. That's just a fact. Again, Zach Bouthelier last year was in like the 70s, at least for the ratings. Very disappointing. I mean, we're not paying Knight much, but I think Ottinger, $5 million, of course, we can look to move him on and just run with a cheaper backup. It's a .916 for Ottinger, though, in terms of save percentage. Only a .903 for Spencer Knight. The goals saved above expected. Spencer allowing way more than expected. Ottinger, I mean, no doubt Ottinger's better of the 2 goaltenders. But it'd be very nice to free up that cash. We have to ask ourselves a question about Spencer Knight at this point. Ottinger's been solid, but not so outrageous that we keep him over cheaper options that can do just as good as him. I mean, Knight's 24. He's under contract for 1 more year. So there is that decision to make, but I think at the very least, Jake Ottinger gets dealt. We brought him back after all this time. I think we're going to look to shop Jake Ottinger here. And I do think we give Spencer Knight a little bit more time. So Victor Berglund will not be enough. Libor Hayek will not be enough. Aiden Dudas, certainly not. Sveshkovsky, Dante Fabro, Caden Primo, no thanks. Julian Gauthier, Alex Wenberg, John Ludwig. So I think we use Ottinger as a part of a bigger package to go out and actually get somebody, because the market for him right now isn't very strong. But we do know that Ottinger's out. Defensively, Makar has been a difference maker. Cholowski's honestly been solid. Honestly, our defense hasn't been that bad, so the goaltending excuse really isn't there. Edvinson's been a stud defensive defenseman. The argument you can make is that Michael Mastrodomenico just isn't ready, and you wouldn't be wrong. I think, again, we maybe keep Cholowski, but we look for, a stud defenseman in this deal. And we can just send Mastrodomenico down to the Bitch Pigeons and give him a little bit more time to ripen. So defensively, nobody necessarily has to go, at least to be traded. And if we look at the stats, Mastrodomenico has only played in 15 games, so he has been the 7th defenseman. So he's been an okay 7th defenseman. The argument is, do we trust the top 6 that we have, or do we go out to get somebody else? Cale Makar has 41 points in 45 games, 27 for Drysdale, 25 for Cholowski. So we do have defensemen as well that can put up points. So we have that call with Master Domenico where it's like, okay, do we go out and get a stud, have someone like Edvinsson or Belova be the 7th D, and that way we have someone who's unreal playing next to Cale Makar. So... fair enough, Furman. Fair enough. Took me a second to read all that. So again, defensively, nothing major to worry about right now. That brings us to the forwards. And right now, no one's really doing well enough. And the big thing is Thomas Bordeleau and Antonio Stranges have been brutal defensively. Jack Quinn's the only one on IR. Pedersen and Laine have been as advertised. Atu Ratu's actually been pretty good too. But some of our younger guys just haven't been cutting it, including Marco Rossi. So I just don't think our goaltending's been good enough, and our scoring hasn't been good enough either. Thomas Bordeleau would have to go down through waivers. So allow me, and it'll pop up over here, of course, from when we were editing Florida. We know at this point, Ottinger's out. Thomas Bordeleau is at risk, depending on his stats. Antonio Stranges can be sent down. You could argue whether or not it's even worth trading him. Marco Rossi is at risk here. He just hasn't been good enough. We need to see good point totals for these guys to save their spots. Master Simone's been okay offensively, but weak enough defensively where it doesn't even out. Master Simone is at risk. Matthew Savoy has been okay. Now, I don't know if he's someone that you'd want to potentially send down, but we could send him down or keep him.
Taste the biscuit.
As we got TSO X dropping the sub. You'll love to see it. Stranges was brought up because of injury. God, TSO, what's going on, buddy? Thank you very much for that. How have the streams been going lately? Trevor Zegra, Pelletier. Also a little bit below where I'd want them to be. Chris as well, what's going on, man? A good morning to you. So we have a bunch of forwards here that are at risk. I need to see good point totals. Let's see what we got. So Ratu has 28 points in 32 games. He's safe for sure. Master Simone has 23 and 43. I think that saves Master Simone. 23 and 43. You're looking pretty good. That's going to save him. Pelletier has 19 and 45. Dude, Marco Rossi only has 13 points in 9 games. He's out. Or 13 points, 9 assists. The 4 goals in 45 games. Marco Rossi's out. Marco Rossi's out. I'm cutting ties with him. I'm not happy with it. Stranges has 6 points in 21 games. So obviously, you know, you bring up ye old. Again, 21 games, he has 6 points. He's on a 23-point pace, which isn't bad for a depth option. Thomas Bordeleau has 5 points in 40 games. We're done with Thomas Bordeleau. Yeah, we're absolutely done with Thomas Bordeleau. So I think Bordeleau and Rossi. Again, Stranges for a depth option is still fine. Trevor Zegra has 17 points in 37 games. He's basically on a 30-point pace. And then Pelletier is basically closing in on a 40-point pace. Rossi has been playing on the 4th line, but I don't believe he's been there all season. Let's go back here and look. I mean, you do look at the time on ice. Oops, we got the little goaltenders there. Oh, good for you! Mitchum. You'll love to see it. Thank you for the follow. John just doing well given the ice time. See, my issue here, though, with Marco Rossi is, like, he's not... I just don't know, man. I just don't know if he's earning enough. Rossi is that. Goals 4 per 60. Averaging 3. Shots 4 per 60 as well. I mean, the problem is Rossi's not earning the ice time. It's up to John Cooper. And Rossi, I mean, hey, you can make the argument that maybe John Cooper's just not the guy for this team anymore. But I don't know, man. You can make certain arguments if you want to. Can't even necessarily disagree with some of them, but it's obvious something has to change offensively. I don't know. We could keep Rossi if you want to and see if he can, see if he can earn himself that extra ice time. But the problem is right now, I mean, it's either you go with John Cooper or you trust that he's making the right call by not playing Marco Rossi over some of these other players. I guess it kind of speaks to, how you think the team is set up at the moment. I do know that we got to make a decision here, though. And I do feel confident in shipping off Thomas Bordeleau. At that point, I mean, all right, we'll keep Rossi for the moment. I think Bordeleau's probably the guy to go at the very least. I mean, again, the 5 points and 40. I wasn't seeing anything kind of too crazy for him to begin with. Of course, the game rating's low as well, and then again on the advanced side of things, just not a big fan of what we're seeing from one Thomas Bordeleau right now. All right. So the question is, who exactly can we afford? That's a strong defenseman right now. Oh God, it's not going to sort for me every time, huh? Like Zach Werenski's making like $7 million. Like, there's just no way. That's the problem right now. Find us a defenseman that's not stupidly expensive, that's of quality. I don't know how we're going to find it. Yeah, I mean, Dougie's making 6.5 at 3.5 star. Anybody who's a 4-star option here that might be kind of cheap. So far, no. So 3.5 star for a goaltender might be the best thing we can look at here. Apparently really good defense is at a premium here. Thomas Chabot, but he's making $8 million. I don't know if we could get Ottawa to retain. Looking like 3.5. It's going to be the way to go. Yeah, Shea Theodore's making a pretty big chunk of change there. So John Carlson on an expiring deal, and he's having a pretty good season. John Carlson, I mean, that's the type of guy that you could get to retain salary. 33 points in 46 games. And he doesn't want to come here. Okay, cool. All right, so we'd have to look for really 3.5-star defensemen that aren't the most expensive in the world. I mean, right now, we do have about $12 million in space, but we want to, leave some of those options open for the future. So if we look at just defensemen, I want to see 3.5-star defenseman Victor Hedman, but he's currently hurt. So Victor Hedman's an option on Tampa. Let's see what we got here. We'll just mark down like a game rating, like a 74. It's just kind of our our go-to rating here. And again, he is on an expiring deal, which is pretty nice. Shea Theodore makes $8 million. Quinn Hughes only makes $6 million. $6 million for Quinn Hughes is a lot more manageable. Interesting. Vancouver's not so good this year. Vegas with Ryan Pollock making 5.5, 5.1 for 3 years. That's not too bad either, but he's been rough this season offensively. But in theory, maybe Cooper would put him with Makar. Again, nobody there unless we wanted to go after Schmidt. Zach Werenski's making $8 million for the next 6 years. That's not going to happen. McAvoy's on an expiring deal. Lord knows what he would want, but he is an option here. 72 game rating, elite defensively right now. Dougie Hamilton making $6 million for the next 4 years. That's not that bad. He is 32 though. That contract could be rough by the end of it. What else do we have? 3.5 star here. Seth Jones. Man, Seth Jones only making 7 for a player of that ability. I think Seth Jones has to be the target here. $7 million over the next 3 years for a 4.5 star player is nuts. Haskinen's probably a little bit too expensive at 8. Klingberg, 33, 2 years left. I like our other options more than Klingberg. Aaron Ekblad's got a 6-year deal. No thank you. Thomas Chabot's making 8. Riley and Carlson making way too much. Furman, I agree with that. All right, so I think first and foremost, Seth Jones and the Columbus Blue Jackets are who we need to talk to here. I highly doubt they have any desire to give up Seth Jones. But if we can make it happen, we need to. And I think one of our best options here starts with using Ottinger. Obviously, we have prospects we can give up. Like I said, Ottinger and Bordelot, I am 100% on board with. Again, unfortunately with Bordelot, it just hasn't really worked. But then the question is, we have rights to 3-star players. I don't really want to give up Lunacharsky in goal. We do have some 3-star players we could give up. We do have an extra first-round pick this year from Anaheim. And then the potential of other dudes. Then we do have 2.5-star guys. I like Chalosky. What if we give up Stranges? Okay, that's... Alright, it's going to have to be draft picks from here because they're in a bit of a cap crunch, apparently. I didn't see where Anaheim was in the standings. They're pretty much neck and neck with us. Let's just give up Anaheim's first. And then player rights. Actually, the one other thing I want to do here is go and turn on commissioner mode again, because if they say they'll accept it, I'm just going to force it through to save time. What about giving up... I don't really want to give up any of those guys, though, but we have to. It's them or draft picks. I think we can get it to go through for Seth Jones here. And for cheaper than you'd think. Now, they might give us the answer where ultimately it says, hey, we want a little bit more. But I think we got the deal to get it done here. It's Jake Ottinger, Thomas Bordeleau, a 1st, 4th, and 5th in this year's drafts. He's an expensive one, but we pick up Seth Jones. That is a done deal. So now we got Knight and Bouthelier in goal. The defense is now Jones, Makar, Drysdale, Addison, Chalosky, Beliveau, and Edvinson. And we'll send Michael Mastro-Domenico back down to the AHL just so he can actually play full-time. Actually, I kind of want to do the same thing with Edvinson here. I don't know who it's going to scratch between Beliveau and Edvinson, unfortunately. I do care more about Edvinson getting that time, but Beliveau does have a good point total. I think you can make the argument of trading Dennis Cholowski just to get him out of there, even though he's been good. What do we want to do on defense here? So I'm afraid of who it will scratch, because nobody there really deserves to be out. Drysdale's been pretty bad defensively. Edvinson's been bad offensively, but really good defensively. Honestly, I don't like what I'm seeing out of Jamie Drysdale right now, but he does have 27 points in 42 games, so go figure. Jake Ottinger has been put on waivers by Columbus. We are going to put in a claim and try to cheese the system there and get him right back. I think for the moment we'll leave the defense as it is. And for our forwards, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So we still have to make the call of what else to do here. I think 51 points in 45 games. We call up Dylan Genther now and see what he can do. And just leave that be for the moment. So Ottinger and Bordeleau are out. We bring in Seth flippin' Jones. And we might even get Ottinger right back. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Jake Ottinger, welcome back to the Kraken. So that pick, that trade ended up being Thomas Bordeleau, a first, fourth, and fifth for Seth Jones. We got Jake Ottinger right back. Our scout again has Erdogan at the top. New player nationalities. Bobrovsky can now play for the U.S. William Karlsson, Pavel Zacha, Jet Wu. Philip Larson can now play for Russia. There you go. So now, the question is, what do we look to do with some of these players? Because defensively, we're set. No doubt about that. Goaltending, we're set. We're going to trade Ottinger again. It's just forward-wise. Again, we're going to give Dylan Genther a shot. Right now, it's 5, 10, 11, 12, 13. Stranges hasn't been that bad. Again, Zegras has the 17. I mean, would you not make the argument of if there's somebody good out there, pair Rossi, Stranges, and Ottinger together and try to pull off a ridiculous trade? Could make the argument as well as maybe even sending down Matthew Savoy, because he's been a really weird player so far this year. I think defensively we should be okay. I don't really think we need another incredible addition. Makar and Jones should be enough. But there was McAvoy, Hedman, Hughes, and Pollock that were out there. Hedman was on an expiring deal too. So I'm just wondering, like, offensively we should be fine. It's just, do we need more insulation around the goaltender? That is the question. Because we could go crazy here with defense, but again, it's not as if some of these defensemen deserve to have this time taken away. Honestly, we could just hold Ottinger on this roster still. Hold him for, I think we're going to, as silly as that is. Let's sim to February 1st. We'll just hold Ottinger hostage on this roster, knowing that we're going to trade him again. But we'll give some of these other players an opportunity to prove that they should stay here. As we did lose to Philly, 4-3. I mean, we're going to find out. Do we need more defense? Is this forward core good enough? And to be honest, we could be in the spot where we say, shit, this team still isn't there. Maybe we're looking to firing John Cooper if he can't get this team into the playoffs, and then maybe we just move on from certain people if they're not good enough. And again, like, I don't... is GM connected in FHM 7? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. 250 games for O'Reilly. Group stage of the World Juniors finish. It's Canada, Slovakia, US, Russia, Finland, Germany, Sweden, and the Czechs. Shane Wright got hurt for Vancouver. And Jack Quinn's still up for another month or two. That really hasn't helped things, has it? So we're going to find out over this next month, because if this team is only the 8th seed, I'm not really going to feel comfortable in giving up more assets. I mean, we already gave up a first rounder for Seth Jones. If this team can't cut it, if this team, as Canada wins the World Juniors 6-0 over Finland in the gold medal game, as Dylan Larkin hit 600 points, if this team can't be in better than 6th, or I should say 8th, then I don't really know if they're worth adding to it, and I don't really trust them to add, and at that point, we might as well just tear down. So we're going to find out here before we call it a night as to where this team's going to go. So there's a very, 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 very good chance that we might be sellers again, which would really suck. William Nylander hit 600 career points. Midway through January, we play Carolina tonight. Tear this down, you have 32. Well, tear down is in like, okay, let's see who upcoming free agents are around the league. If there's someone we want to make a play for, we shall see. I mean, tear down, maybe, you know, I mean, not tear down the whole thing. Strip some pieces from the club. Couturier hit 300 goals, 1,000 games for Justin Falk. Where are we right now? We're out of the playoffs right now. We have a game at hand on Arizona. We're out of the playoffs right now, guys. We're gonna blow this up again. First step. John Cooper. I don't think you're the head coach for this team anymore, buddy. I don't know if you're the head coach for this team anymore. It's kind of what we're looking at here. Gerard Gallant, Peter Laviolette, Jared Bednar, Todd McClellan are the most well-known coaches. I want to see those who are in tip-top shape in terms of how good of a coach they are. There are a lot of people who fit the bill. A lot of people who fit the bill as a good head coach. Fuck's sake. I wasn't expecting that many people to be in the excellent category. Jesus Christ. That is insane. Let's just look at Thurman Alford here for the moment. Alright, so yeah, see, just because it says excellent doesn't mean they're actually excellent in terms of the coaching. Okay. Let's go back over. Let's go assistant coach or head coach. Active personnel only. So there are still that many people listed as an excellent coach, huh? Miscellaneous skills. Training. Oh boy, scouting. Let's go back over to training here. So it's going to be tough to tell here. If you look at all the excellence, basically I'm just trying to cross-reference all the other ones. Yeah, honestly, I think we do just go with the ones who are most highly touted. It's probably the best way to go about it. I was basically, tempted to go with someone who didn't have as crazy of a reputation. So first and foremost, Todd McClellan. Not bad, but not amazing, I would say. 16, 14, couple 13s. Is there somebody better than John Cooper? Jared Bednar. Definitely not better. Definitely not better. Peter Laviolette. Can't really coach goalies. Probably about the same, if we're being honest. Good player management. Motivation, the tactics, and like the tactical side of things for Laviolette is incredibly solid. And compared to Todd McClellan, he was better in that regard. What about Gerard Gallant? Not the best motivator, not the best discipline. Good player coach. Just don't know if that's what we need. Again, how does John Cooper compare? Statistically. You'd really think that John Cooper would be good enough to get these forwards clicking. Really good tactics, really good in-game, good player management, good motivation. What do we do, right? Like, is it fire the coach? Is that the answer? Is it just these players aren't cutting it? Because right now, we got half a month left for these guys to turn it around and go on a tear. There's a bunch of players who are known internationally, or a bunch of options who are known internationally. Starts with Steve Thomas. Jarrett Stoll, Brian Scrudlin, Teppo Numanen, Bob Corkum, Patrice Brisebois, Pierre Turgeon. Bunch of former players. I mean, our assistant coaches are top notch. Brian Lawton, Adam Foote, Ty Conklin, Ryan Clough, Jason Arnott, Scott Stevens, Wade Redden, Yanni Pekkanen, Glenn Murray. Love to hire Glenn Murray. Ethan Morrow, Mike Keane, Cujo, Corey Hirsch. A lot of former NHLers. Daniel Alfredson, Mike Ricci, Kenny Nabokov, Brett Hull, Jeremy Colleton is there, Manny Malhotra, Pat LaFontaine, Dave Poulin, Jeff Ward, John Madden, Tina Vason. I mean, there's a shitload of options. Joe Nieuwendyk, Trevor Linden, Doug Gilmore, Ron Hextall, Mark Recchi, Dallas Eakins, Ron Suter, Ron Francis. Todd Nelson's at the top of known internationally. And you look at that, just no way. No way. Randy Sexton, Rick Tocchet, Jim Benning. What about Ron Francis? No. Dallas Eakins. There's no better option out there. He is by far and away our best option. I'm not going to blame the coach on this one. I'm not going to blame the coach on this one. This team has until the rest of the month to figure it out. And if they can't, we strip away pieces and look to next year. It's the only thing we can do. Joey, what's going on, buddy? I am doing fantastic. Fantastically. We'll see if the Seattle Kraken can live up to that hope. Let's see. We get the midseason draft rankings. Central Scouting has Rico Schussler It's the highest rated North American skater with Erdogan as the top defensive, or as the top player in Europe. Top goaltender in the U.S. is Larry McMahon. Top European goaltender is Tomas Baran of Liberec. So right now, Central Scouting for North American skaters has this dude here in Schussler as the top dog. We look at the watch list options here. Let's at least get everyone who's projected to go in the first round. All these B options here. Our scouts have Chris Ferlin as the top dude, though, who's ranked 8th right now. For North American goaltenders, there is a stud in McMahon. Larry McMahon. 5'11", he's a shorter goalie, but he might be. Can't miss. We got just a shitload of goalies there that we have no info on. I trust our scouts to not be missing anybody. As much as I'd like to look at everybody there, but I'm gonna trust our scouts on that one. Top European skater is Erdogan, who's okay. Our scouts clearly have the number 2 projected guy and Michael Sestak as the top option. And again, one of the top rated dudes. Let's get some of these other ones on to the watch list. And the top European goaltender. There is no top European goaltender. Fair enough. See, we lost 5-1 to Vegas. It's not looking too good. Game coming up against Washington. And the question is at that point, on February 1st, do we strip away pieces? Do we strip away the head coach and wait to see what happens until the deadline, which honestly might be for the best, as New Jersey might be firing their head coach and just get a guy off of waivers? To be honest, I mean, that might be the answer. Maybe February 1st, if we can't turn it around, that's where we fire John Cooper. We give that other coach 3 weeks to turn it around and get us into a better spot, potentially. And if he can't, deadline day, we just destroy it. We don't have anybody up there in terms of points or assists anymore either. It just seems like this team is completely stalled out. We are so much worse than I expected us to be. I mean, I thought we were going to be able to hang with someone like St. Louis or at least Philadelphia. That is not happening. Fuck. Yeah, it's just a question of, like, is there just too little experience throughout this lineup? What's the answer? Giroux hits 1,200 points. 600 for Bo. 1,250 games played for Stamkos. Some big injuries. And again, our big-time scouting report here. In terms of the highest rated dudes. So go ahead and make sure to get these guys onto our list. At least some of them. I'm not going to bother with the rest. Let's just get to the next day here. February 1st. Are the Kraken tearing it down? I can't help but think they are. And like I said, maybe John Cooper gets the axe here. Maybe we wait until the offseason to see who else is available. But we have one of the best, like, you know, prospect-based coaches in John Cooper, and it's not working. This Jack Eichel's going to be out for 5 months. Dev report, big +2 for Mac Celebrini. Yeah, we were listed as preseason Stanley Cup favorites as well. Patrick Thomas with a +2. Brad Norman, Demidov, +2 for Ridley Gregg. Paul Ludwinski as well. We were preseason favorites to win the Stanley Cup. And as of February 1st, we are in fucking 10th. 5 points out of a playoff spot. Fuck. Dude, we have a top-notch coaching staff. Like, literally, the assistant coaches cannot get any better. Hell, the head coach can't get any better. Like, they literally cannot get any better. Shit. Goaltending. Defensive coach could slightly improve. I mean, slightly. But again, like you're not going to improve our goalie coach. You're not going to improve our defensive coach. You're not going to improve our offensive coach. It's excellent. Our skills coach could get coach prospects up a little bit. Like, yeah, okay, you could go from a 9.5 to a 10 out of 10. Our assistants aren't the reason. That extra 0.5 isn't the difference. So the game rating for Knight and Ottinger, both at least, closing in on a 70. 914 for Ottinger, 902 for Spencer Knight. I think we banked on the wrong goaltender with Spencer Knight. They're just not getting it done. Whereas Bouthelier and Saville last year, again, Bouthelier had a 921 in 26 games. Saville had a 913. They just haven't gotten it done. Like, what is the reason? Is it the coach? Just what the hell is it? But goaltending, bottom line, isn't where we need it to be. Defensively, right now, I mean, Jones, Makar, I mean, the game ratings are pretty good for everybody. Drysdale's been probably our biggest disappointment. At least Edvinson's much more solid defensively. Seth Jones has 5 points in 13 games since coming here. Cholowski, Drysdale, decent enough. You look at the old Corsi relative numbers here, and I mean, only doing the positives, not great. The goals 4 per 60. Drysdale and Cholowski are disappointing me a little bit. Depth scoring and goalies. Well, we'll see what the forwards happen to look like here in a second. Fuck. Those game ratings are brutal. Absolutely brutal. The outright stats. Liney's been great. Pedersen's been great. Rosen's been pretty good. Ratu's been pretty good. Genther hasn't really stuck. Marco Rossi still has 14 points in 58 games. Savoy hasn't been good enough. Rossi hasn't been good enough. Genther couldn't step up and take the job. Honestly, I mean, yeah, it's been... The goaltending hasn't been on point, nor is the offense. And you could say, what came first, chicken or the egg? Is our goaltending struggling because our offense has been rough? And again, we've been without Jack Quinn here. Savoy hasn't been amazing. I'll agree with you there. Genther, you're going back down to the bitch pigeons. Simon Tyval could be called up. Let's see who have been the best options on the pigeons here. Just in terms of your playmaker, it's been Simon Tyval or McNamara or Ridley Gregg. Okay, so we have options. McNamara's 21, Simon Tyval's 24. Greg is 23. Let's give Simon Tyval the bump up. We'll give him the opportunity here. And to be honest, I don't really care what happens with Antonio Stranges. He's 2.5 star. If he doesn't make... Actually, I can send him down without having to worry about waivers. Even better. And we'll call up the 23-year-old Ridley Gregg. So what we're going to do here is, like I said, we are going to give it one last shot. John Cooper is going to be out as the head coach of the Seattle Kraken. And in his place, we're bringing him back. We're bringing him back. Gerard Gallant, the original head coach of the Seattle Kraken, is back. Gerard Gallant returns home. And of course, for the sake of essentially cheating, but I don't really care, we are going to drop that down to about 1,000. 10,000. Let's go 10,000. Save that over. Well, let's see what Gerard can do. But we are going to stick with it. We're even going to stick with the goaltending because, again, we can get a little bit more back if we were to wait until the deadline kind of season heats up. This is it for Spencer Knight to save his job here. We know Ottinger's getting traded no matter what. We are going to see if Spencer Knight is going to be a member of the Kraken or not by the end of this month. That is the question. This team has a little bit more time. We lose 2-1 in Gallant's return home. Sam Reinhart hit 600 points. Jared Bednar was hired in New Jersey. We went 4-7-3 in the last month. I think we made the right choice firing John Cooper. We play Edmonton next on the road. We lose 3-2. On starting in goal. Always the best question. Always the best question of who is Gerard Gallant starting in goal. We beat Boston 5-3. Florida's next. See what we can do against the Cats here. Not one player up there for scoring. Let's see. St. Louis and LA, minor trade there. Tyler Johnson, 600 points. McKinnon, 400 goals. Toropchenko for Graham Sword. Go to next week. Beat Florida 4-3. Up to 64 points on the season. If I'm not mistaken, we're the 8th seed right now. Anaheim has 2 games in hand and are only 2 points back, though. If I'm not mistaken, we're back into the playoffs. The Winter Olympics start today. Fuck. What does that mean for the schedule? We don't have any games until the deadline because of the Olympics. Huh. So Group A, you have Germany, the current 11th team in the world, led of course by Leon Draisaitl. Tim Stutzel's there, but he never really developed into a superstar. Leon Gawanke, Leon Berkman, Dom Cahoon. Sweden also in Group A, currently the world's number 2. Pedersen, Landeskog, Hedman, Carlson, Klingberg, Forsberg, Zibanejad, Lindholm. Stacked Sweden team. For sure. The United States, currently the world ranked, or the world's 3rd best team. Hellebuck, Jones, Larkin, Matthews. I mean, that's a stacked U.S. roster. An absolutely stacked U.S. roster. When Nate Schmidt is your worst player, you're doing pretty good. That's a stacked roster. And then Norway. Yeah, thanks for coming, Norway. Thanks for coming, Norway. Group B is Slovakia, currently 10th rated in the world. Slavkovsky, Dvorsky, and Ciernik leading the way. Alex Ciernik, one of our prospects. So, Canada, holy mother of Christ. McDavid, McKinnon, Marner, Bennington. Holy shit. Bennington, Blackwood, Hart. So it's going to be the U.S. or Canada that wins gold here. Russia, currently 4th rated in the world. Vasilevsky, Michkov, Panarin, Tarasenko. Russia has a pretty good shot as well at making it. Crosby was the worst player on Canada as well. Good catch. And then the Czechs also in Group B. Decent with Hurdle, Pasternak, Dostal, Kubalik. But obviously I think Group A, Sweden and the US. Group B, Canada, Russia. And then Group C is just who the fuck knows. It's a toss-up. You have Belarus, who's currently in 12th, led by Alexei Protas and Vladislav Kalachnikov. You have France, the world's 15th rated team, led by Alex Tessier. You have Finland, of course, who's, I mean, fucking, like Shaq breaking a backboard, slam dunk. 5th rated Finland. Barkov, Rantanen, Aho. Jesus Christ, what a team. And then Group C, I mean, Finland and Switzerland are going to win this. Switzerland currently 6th rated. Timo Meier, Roman Josi, Niederreiter, Fiala. So yeah, I think it's fairly obvious who the favorites are. Again, this is Canada. Giroux, Pietrangelo, Crosby, Darnell Nurse, the worst options. And this is the U.S. side. I have no idea who the hell is winning it between the U.S. or Canada, but it's bound to be one of them. So with that for us, though, here stateside, we are currently the 9th seed. We are 5 points back of the Minnesota Wild. Calling it. We are blowing this team up. Absolutely blowing this team up. We have to wait a couple of days to try and maximize the returns that we can get, I would say. I don't even know if I'm going to do this tonight. We might wait until tomorrow. But we're blowing this team up. This team is fucked. This team is just toast, guys. There's no other way to put it. We're done for. Thank you, Rich. I always know that you have my best interests at heart, buddy. Thank you for always looking out for me. Yeah, I mean, we might just have to do this tomorrow because it's already getting pretty late and I can't afford to go too far overtime. We gotta blow this team up, man. Alex Romanov has left the Montreal Canadiens. Never really turned into a superstar. And we will go to, 17th, 18th is where those maximized returns start, so. The problem is we have to decide who stays and who goes. You know, I think looking at the goaltending, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, I know Spencer Knight's only 24. He's got 1 year left on his deal. We could keep him if we wanted to. But he only has a .903 save percentage. And now we have to think, because after next season, with him having a 3-star rating, he's gonna want a lot of money. And I don't think we need to pay him that. I really don't. Bouthelier is only gonna want $1 million. So I think a 2.5 star goaltender is really what we're looking for here. Because Spencer Knight, I mean, I can't renegotiate with him right now, but I think Ottinger and Knight are both gone. I mean, that's the big decision. Spencer Knight, like, is he going to turn the corner, or is it more valuable right now to just sell him while his value is probably at its highest, despite the fact he sucked this year, and I think it's worth moving him. You know, again, you can tell how much money he's going to want. He's probably going to want Ottinger money. There's no way right now, with how he's played, we could pay him Ottinger money. There's just no way. I mean, you look in Florida, 902, 907, 901. This is it. This has been a trend. This is who Spencer Knight is. He's just not there. Spencer Knight's getting traded. No doubt. No doubt Spencer Knight's gone. Defensively, I think we will try to coach Team Mexico, by the way. Defensively, Cale Makar obviously stays. If we just go as simple as looking at the stats, Cale Makar's lived up to the hype, in my opinion, at least. I don't know if anybody defensively has really been the issue. Dennis Cholowski's going to want a dirt cheap contract here. Beliveau, Edmondson, Seth Jones. I don't really know if we have to move on from anybody defensively, though. Yeah, I really don't feel as though our defense has been our big issue this season. I mean, Edmondson at 4.5-star potential, certainly going nowhere. I mean, the only problems that could come up is if these guys start looking for a little bit more money than they're worth. But I think for the most part, we're fine. Okay, Kalen Addison's going to want $4 million. That's a bit rough. Drysdale's going to be looking for $4 million. Yeah, see, here's the issue. We have to scout out every single one of these players. I mean, Jamie Drysdale right now, we've seen it. He can put up points as an offensive defenseman, there's no doubt about it. But his defense is suspect. That's not surprising to us. Negative Corsi relative percentage to negative Fenwick relative percentage. Shots for per 60 is a 32, but the shots against per 60 is a 36. So it's just, does he provide enough offense? Does he provide enough offense to make it worth it? I don't think he does. I don't think he's good enough offensively to make it worth it. Cale Makar is an offensive defenseman, but at least he's close. I think Jamie Drysdale's out. I'm thinking Jamie Drysdale's gone. 24 points in 48 games. He might get better, but again, he's someone we can cash out on right now. I think we're definitely going to look to move on from him. I mean, yeah, you see like how significantly worse he is than Beliveau with some of these metrics. At least Beliveau has that positive, relative Fenwick to kind of boost him up again. And so does Addison. Dennis Cholowski at this point. 36 points in 63 games. Only wants $1 million. Now, Cholowski's not that bad for how highly rated he is to hold on to. But there is the question over getting rid of him. Drysdale's definitely out. So Beliveau, I think there's some promising notes there. Kalen Addison, though. So yeah, Drysdale wants almost $4 million. There's no way. Beliveau wants under $1 million. That's perfect. Kalen Addison wants $4 million a season. To be honest, we have to consider moving on from him because he's 2.5-star, 24 points in 48 games. I think we have to consider moving on from Kalen Addison as well. Our defense hasn't been the issue, but right now we're having to think of future issues here. Edmondson certainly stays. I think Seth Jones stays as well because he's on such a good contract. So Drysdale's definitely out. Cholowski and Addison are in a lot of trouble. And then forward-wise, I mean, if we just start off by the game rating, I mean, Simon Tyval and Greg aren't good enough to hang right now. And thankfully, both could be sent back down. mean, Marco Rossi's making $5 million a season right now. The points, Joey, it's as fucked up as always. Yeah, the numbers for Rossi are okay, but obviously just the production's not there. The production's just not there. So does that come down to the fact that he just wasn't played in a very good spot this season? I mean, he's averaging only 9 minutes a game. So I guess you can make the argument that Marco Rossi should be given the opportunity to stick around. I don't think I'd necessarily disagree. Matthew Savoy is definitely not ready for prime time. I feel comfortable in saying that. Yeah, I feel comfortable in saying that. I know he's 3 stars. He put up 21 points in 63 games, but Marco Rossi, he's not someone we're going to cash out on. But, definitely going to be sent back down to the AHL for the season. Ratu is a massive defensive liability. He has 37 points in 54 games, though, which is his, are his best totals to date. That's a tough player to give up on. Previous best was 21 points in 55 games. So offensively, the production's definitely improved. It's just at 23 years old, do you give up on him? Again, the defensive numbers are bad, but at least the offensive production's there. Again, I felt good enough in sending down Matthew Savoy given the circumstances because, the production was a little bit lower. I think he could benefit from that little bit of extra time. It's a tough call. I mean, we have to consider trading Ratu. We do. Mastra Simone, 30 points in 56 games. A bit of a defensive liability, but I think someone who can be kind of solid for us. Laine is obviously a bit of a defensive liability as well, but he has 64 points in 62 games. Pedersen's going nowhere. He's almost a point per game. William Karlsson, still under contract to us. There's nothing we can do with him. Pelletier, point totals aren't quite where we'd want them to be, but the numbers are at least okay. And Marco Rossi, I mean, the numbers paint a better story than what we've been seeing. Same with the likes of Trevor Zegras, Simon Tyval, who's only played in 4 games. Ridley Gregg and Simon Tyval actually haven't played in that many games, so we can't really tell by the game rating. I think Ratu's the guy, the big player that we got to look at potentially moving here. But we're definitely making some changes defensively. And in goal. And then it's just a question of who else here is in the system that we just look to move on from. The 23, 24-year-olds that haven't made it yet. Who do you look to move on from and just cash out? I mean, even Miroshnichenko, who we just picked up, he's still only 1 star. He hasn't even really been able to crack that lineup this year. I think we got a lot of players here that haven't made the team yet that you can start to argue, are they ever going to make the team? And we look to move on as a result. If the ceiling's not that high, you're 23, 24 years old, I think we got to, we really got to ask, are they worth keeping around? So I think we have a shitload of changes that are going to have to be, made to this team. And the best thing might just be to look for, picks, or it might be to shop them, to be honest. If we shop Spencer Knight, what can we get? A first-round pick from Colorado or a first-round pick from Nashville? Both teams currently out of the playoffs. Nashville a little bit further back. We can end up discussing that trade with them. I mean, the big question is, right? Do we look around for prospects that we think are going to make it, or players that we think are going to make it, or do we just go with the draft picks because they have such high value? Wow, Nashville hasn't even signed Connor Bedard yet. Holy shit. They're saying a first rounder and Connor Bedard for Spencer Knight. They will not accept that. What if I... Like, shit. What if I take out the first? Will they accept Spencer Knight for Connor Bedard? 3.5, 5... He's 3.5 star already. Like, they've let him just play out his WHL time. Connor Bedard and a second for Spencer Knight. It'd be below the cap floor if we made this trade. You literally wouldn't, though. So, does that mean they'd accept it? The whole we'd be below the cap floor thing, because they definitely wouldn't be. What if I also add in Ottinger, and we make this just a fucking ridiculous trade involving both of our goalies? I mean, out of nowhere, I was just kind of thinking like, hey, let me set this up for tomorrow, but out of nowhere, I mean, I think we kind of found that there might be a move to make here. And in terms of, you know, player rates on Nashville, you also have Dubé. Braden Dubé, who's 2.5 star, 4 star at 20 years old. This could be a fucking bonkers trade. Nashville won't move there first. But I mean, these two ridiculous prospects and a second round pick for two goalies who aren't cutting it. Like, you literally would not be under the cap floor. I don't want to force a trade through that it wouldn't say that they would accept. But it also looks like it's glitched or something where it's like, oh, hey, we'd be below the cap floor. Which, again, literally they wouldn't unless they have players out on, you know, Olympic duty right now. Yeah, I think the point of this is we can sim up to the 24th, make sure certain teams' rosters are set. Unless Nashville... Yeah, Nashville's at 62 million. The floor is 60. Unless it's not factoring in, like, Brodin and Yossi. Let's sim the deadline day. Can I pull myself away from this before blowing this team up? It is very, very obvious that we're blowing this team up. It's just, do I have the patience to wait until tomorrow? I don't know if I do. I am just so sick of this team. Failing and failing and failing again. Nashville has apparently accepted a trade. Sabres got Zion Nybeck for Jeff Skinner. Kale Granlund for a prospect. Well, I got my answer. Spencer Knight and Jake Ottinger to Nashville for a second round pick this year. Connor Bedard and Braden Dubé. Connor Bedard, 3.5 star, 5 star at 20 years old. Braden Dubé, 2.5, 4 star. I mean, I think we have to take this. I think we have to take this. Spencer Knight's been a complete bust, and Ottinger's not worth paying $5 million to a season. We can run with the lower rated goalies who have been getting it done. I think we have to take this deal. 5-star prospect for 5-star prospect. Nashville, pleasure doing business with you. We have acquired Connor Bedard, who's going to be a hell of an addition to this team next year. As well, there are some players available. How much is Ross Johnston making? I am going to claim Ross Johnston so that we have a face puncher on this team. I don't think I have to worry about that other goaltender. Actually, if I do bring in that goaltender, we'll at least have 4 goalies. Let's bring in Magnus Krona, who's a good AHL goalie at least. See if we can claim those two. It'll be Bouthelier and Saville as our NHL options. Connor Bedard is listed ahead of Max Nemestikov, which is nuts. And we just killed 2 birds with 1 stone there in getting rid of Knight and Ottinger. Let us shop Jamie Drysdale, who I am just kind of sick of. What can we get for him? Holy trade offers. Harrison Lodewook, 3 stars. Get out of here. Axel Rendell, absolutely not. Jakob Lauko, absolutely not. A first-round pick from Chicago. Don't mind if I do. It is going to be tough to top. A first-round pick from Chicago. Very tough indeed. We saw what we could do last year with first-round picks at our disposal. Trey Johnson. Cooper Gazowski. Great name. I mean, this is coming together for us pretty well here. If we're calling it like we sees it, this is going to work out quite well for us here. Again, we got a crap load of players we can shop. Let's see if we can get a little bit more out of this here from Chicago, but Jamie Drysdale for a first-round pick sounds pretty good to me. To be honest, I'm supposed to say whether or not they do that. I think they'll probably accept. First and a second for Drysdale. Be below the cap floor, which is bullshit. We'll just see if that Drysdale offer goes through. For some reason, everyone's like, oh yeah, well, it would be below the cap floor. It has to be because of the Olympics. Kalen Addison, I do not want to pay you the amount of money I'm going to have to pay you. So let's see if this goes through. And if there is a good enough trade on the flip side, a 4th-round pick might be the best I can do. Unless we combine him with somebody else. Dylan Holloway, only 2 stars. Ron, only a 1.5 stars. Okay, so if we move Kalen Addison, it's going to have to be with somebody else. And then what about Dennis Cholowski? Shop him as well. Josh Brook, absolutely not. Philip Hollander, Riley Duran, 4th. It looks like if we're going to get anything done, those 2 defensemen, they got to be shopped together. Let me sim a day. And Rich, you're kind of reading my mind now. Let's just ship all of our trash to Chicago. Let's see, we got Krona and Johnston. We have Isaiah Saville, his number. Again, jersey numbers to assistant. Everything else can stay the same. Let's go forward another day here. The Olympics are coming to a close as well. I have gone way over time. Chicago has accepted. Canada beat the U.S. I think we might have a Canada-Russia final. Chicago has accepted Jamie Drysdale in a first. Jamie Drysdale for a first and a second. We are going to take that from the Blackhawks, no doubt about it. So Jamie Drysdale has been moved on from as well. If we were to shop Aatu Ratu, what could we get? Is my question. Would it be anything spectacular enough? The answer appears to be no. Connor McMichael didn't exactly turn into what you'd think he'd turn into. Moritz Seider is currently hurt. Looks like the Ratu trade would have to be manual. Logan Stankoven. I mean, we're not going to deal him at a loss. That looks like that would be what we have to do. So we're not going to rush this trade tonight. We will figure it out. We got a few more players we might want to move on from. At the end of the day, though, I mean, we pull off a hell of a deal with Nashville to pick up 2 of the best forward prospects we possibly could have. And a draft pick. But yeah, we got a lot to do. Stanley Cup favorites, they say. Stanley Cup favorites, they say. I think not.